And this is my video review of Transformers Cybertron Voyager class Soundwave. So right off the bat, I'm going to say that this is probably the best classic Soundwave you could get, because it's the only one that's not just either a slavish G1 recreation like the music label one, or absolutely undeniably Cybertronian like the War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron ones. It's just a really good representation of them. Which is why I like the Unicron trilogy stuff. I mean, it's immediately recognizable who the characters are. It's not like the movies where you need to have a name tag below them to tell who they are. This guy, you just glance at him and say, "Oh, cool, it's Soundwave." And is... It's not like, what, is he on a rock? Or, hang on. Landing gear trouble. There, his head was just sticking down a little too far. So yeah. Here he is in his bomber mode. I'm just going to give you a close look at all the really, really fantastic detailing on this figure. It is really just amazing. It's part of what I love about the Cybertron and Armada. The Cybertron figures and the Armada Decepticons is they had just so much molded detail. It's just so cool. I have no idea what that's supposed to be. It's also cool you can actually lift back his cockpit, and there's a little seat in there, which is cool. And he has a cyber key, and this is a Planet X cyber key, which is just the Decepticon key in orange with no painted Decepticon symbol. So you got a code down there on the bottom. It's the ordinary cyber key. And you notice he has a cyber key slot right there, and when you plug it in there and lift him up, and make sure you don't put your finger here, because this is also part of the folding open thing, and I keep grabbing it there and wondering why it doesn't open, but that's why. And push down, and oh, and again my thumb was still kind of in the way, but you know what, actually let's try that again. It's far enough so that it doesn't go down, and then there, that was cool. So here you have this little bomb. And if you know anything about this figure, you know what this bomb is, but this is a bomb right now, but I'll show you what it actually is later. He does have two other bombs on the underside of his wings, those translucent purple things. And they can unpeg just like the first one, and they can fit into the chest too, and they're kind of hard to get in there, but I don't think you can get this one here to go in to the wings. I haven't found a way for it to, but yeah. These will also be used in robot mode, and I'll show you that later. So yeah, so it's got a good, decent number of accessories, so let's get on to his very cool, very complex transformation. So what you do is you fold this back, and you fold the wings down, and you pull the legs loose from the cockpit section, and you want to lift this whole section on that double hinge back and just out of the way. And then you want to take his arm there and unpeg it from the other arm and swing it to the side, then take this one and unpeg it from there, and you kind of wrestle it out from there, and then you have to swing this one out too. And they're both very, very hard to get out. There. You have to kind of push from underneath with them slightly. You get the first hinges flat, and then what you do is you take this section, lift it up, lift that section up, tab it in, flip this down, and then take this whole thing here and just get everything out of the way so that you can slide this down, slide his head down, spin his head around, swing his legs down, straighten them, straighten the knees, straighten those, swing his feet out, flip the heels straight, do the same for the other side, and sometimes one of the heels might not want to come out. And then what you do is you just clip the arms into place, swing the kibble around back however you choose. There's no real place to put them. And there is Soundwave in its robot mode. So as you can see, he's pretty tall, he's really cool looking. He is Soundwave, undeniably. And he also has bombs. And I will show you what this first bomb does right now. You fold these sides up, you straighten out these little pieces here. And then you flip this section back here back, you flip this out, and then you bring the legs down, and by now you can probably tell exactly what, or should I say who, this is. Because this is a little tiny laser beak. And any Soundwave that comes with a laser beak is awesome in my book. And even has a peg on the bottom, so if you bring his feet down like this, you can actually peg him onto Soundwave's arm. And there's only a hole on this arm, unfortunately, but it is there, so you can have him with this little pet bird perched on his arm. And this gun, or should I say bomb, becomes a gun. You just flip everything out from here, and you kind of have to push from underneath to get this up. Then there's this cool little scope on this gun, which I really like. Yeah, it's got a scope there. And you can put this one in his hand. You can put both in his hand. This one doesn't really go on his shoulder that well, but the other one does. And this figure isn't really horribly back heavy. It's just, I have him on a crooked table. And then this, you flip these out. This one's much simpler to get into its gun mode. And then you have this sort of Gatling gun thing. And just like G1 Soundwave, you peg it on his shoulder. Assuming his head's not in the way. There. And it can spin 360. If you so choose, I usually just leave it like that. So yeah. And I'm back now. My camera just ran out of memory card space, but I'm back, and I took the time to put Soundwave in a little bit of a sort of interesting pose just to show off a little bit of his posability. Which isn't too bad. He's got nice ratchets in his hips, very stiff ratchets in his knees. His legs actually split at the joint there, simply from the strength of the ratchets. His toes and heels are on hinges, which isn't too bad. Stiff ratchets in the elbows. Same thing with the shoulders. They've got ratchets in and out, I think. Yeah, ratchet in and out, and then normal joints for the forward and backwards movement. Head's on a ball joint. That is pretty much it. Laserbeak has his whole body sections can move like this. His wings can go down. The wing tips can move because of his transformation, and he has a hinge at his ankle and a hinge at his hip. So all in all, not bad articulation. His Cyberkey feature still works in this mode. It just opens up his chest instead of dropping something. However, I still think he's pretty cool. So overall, would I recommend this guy? Yes, I probably would. He's definitely worth getting if you collect classics, or if like me, you collect not classics, which is figures that look unmistakably like their Generation 1 counterparts, yet are actually not officially classics figures. Because I have a whole shelf of these, and I plan on adding way more to them, because there's quite a few good figures out there that look like their G1 counterparts without being classics, because classics I think is kind of overrated. So yeah, there you have it. I would definitely recommend this guy. He's probably a 7 or 8 out of 10. Very good figure if you can find him for a good price. That's pretty much all there is to say.